Thanks for tuning in, everybody. I'm Dane.
And I'm Marcus, and this is The Cop and the Con. The purpose of this podcast is to help bridge the gap between cops and convicts.
We discuss national news, current events, and everything in between.
So, tune in, and thank you.
Let's get started.
So, how things been?
Good. Yeah, busy life, things going on. But we've been getting a lot of questions, especially since that episode we did when you were asking me a lot about like the procedures and law enforcement. Yep. So I kind of wanted to flip the script because I've been getting a lot of people have been asking me a lot of questions that's been watching the episodes, even though they don't want to comment.
Yeah,
on the
which
video.
is weird. Comment.
They want to comment in real life, which is great too.
Comment.
Which is good too. But again, real quick, if you have questions or comments or issues you want us to touch base on or talk about,
leave it in the
comments. Hit us up.
Hit the like.
We're
hit the subscribe.
We're more than happy to touch base on whatever topics you want to hear about.
We ain't scared.
No. If we don't know about it, we'll fake the funk.
Nah, it's all real coming.
But
from
today,
here.
I wanted to kind of flip the script and kind of ask you the point of view.
Yeah.
Of mostly and things that I want to know too about life behind bars.
It sucks. It's a different kind of society. Like we live in a city.
So before you get deep into it, what's the difference between jail and prison? Because I know a lot of people, it's the same thing to them. Is it the same?
It's not. In jail, you're under watch, like physical watch. I don't know what it's like in other cities and stuff other than Idaho.
Other states and stuff.
Other than Idaho. But I don't know what it's like in other cities or states. I know what it's like in other cities in our state and what the jail looks like. But I come from Salt Lake. So in jail in Salt Lake, as compared to prison, is completely different.
It's direct supervision, right?
Well, not just that. So when you're in jail, you have an officer in section most of the time, and that's most
what
of the
that
jails.
means is there's an actual desk built in the section with all the offenders, and the officer sits in the section the whole time. Room. There's an officer there in the section the whole time,
and he's got the control for all the cells, for the TVs, the showers,
and it's
an
open desk. It's not like they're behind glass or anything like that. It's an open desk.
And there is in prison, you have the bubble, which is where all the cops are at, to where they're not exposed to prison inmates at all.
Well, I think now the new prison up here in Salt Lake,
it might be.
It's direct supervision now. I think the one in Gunnison is still
bubbled
the
out.
Same, yeah.
Unless you're in the dorms, which is up in the Henrys.
Yeah, and the dorms are better. Like,
excuse me,
you have to earn your levels, right? You earn your way up. It's not like max or offenders that are getting into trouble, getting written up.
Wait, let's not jump ahead.
Oh, sorry about that.
Okay, so. No, so the difference, I feel the difference between jail and prison is in jail, you have people coming in every day, all hours of every day, coming from the streets.
In and out.
Sometimes, and you have weekend warriors who only come in and do Saturdays and Sundays, right? You have different, and it's a different vibe. There's constantly people coming and going. When you're in prison, you get one shipment in once a week.
Yeah.
Sometimes that doesn't even happen.
Depending on what section you're in.
Exactly. That doesn't even happen sometimes. So I can only go off of where I was at, right? Yeah. So I was in Draper, and Draper, Tuesday was the day. Tuesday was the leave day. Tuesday was the bring-in day. And you would sometimes you wouldn't get anybody in your section or on your block. You wouldn't get nobody to come in. Maybe one in the whole block. Yeah. Because there's not that much internal movement.
Well, and a lot of times too, they're not even new. They're just coming over from a different block.
Coming from a different county jail because they got IP'd out, which means inmate placement. Sometimes they're coming back from max, Yeah. But those moves are normally done on Wednesdays, Thursdays, right? But you got intake on Tuesday. You got parole and discharge on Tuesdays.
Yeah.
So the vibe is different. Because like I said, like when you're in jail, You have constantly people coming in and out in
Yeah.
your section all day long.
Yeah.
Rolling up, roll up, come out, all kinds of crazy shit. But in prison, you don't have that.
And the dudes in prison, they're there for years, decades.
You're not seeing anybody doing actual prison time if they've only got 18 months.
Yeah.
Those are the guys that get countied out.
Yeah.
They'll go to, any other county because like 1% of the population is pretty big.
Yeah.
And that's what you got in the prisons, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's just the vibe is different.
So the main difference between jail is just like a revolving door.
Well, it's just it's an open door. It's just constantly coming in and out. In prison, it's not.
Yeah,
it's
prison,
not,
you're there. You're going to be there.
Yeah,
for
but
a while.
you're not being flooded with new people every day.
Yeah,
all hours of the day. You see somebody roll in at 7 o'clock at night. Well, what did he do?
Yeah,
you know what I mean. What did that guy do?
Who'd he tell?
Who'd he beat up?
Yeah,
or who's he running from? But even then, like if it's somebody running, they ain't coming to a regular block.
Yeah,
they're going to a softer block where there's not as aggressive people there.
Yeah.
Not saying that people in prison ain't aggressive anyway, because there's a reason they're in there, right? Just less aggressive. Omegas, you know what I mean? Not Kappas.
Yeah.
So
a couple of things that I wanted to know about is I know even though I worked, when I worked down at the prison, I see a lot of what goes on behind the scenes that most people in society will never see, and even movies and TV shows will never touch base
on that.
But even from what I've seen, you see even way more than that, obviously. Yeah. So what's stuff that that the COs, even the COs that are there day in, day out, that we don't see?
Man, there's that
kind of go on.
Everything stops. Just know that everything stops as soon as you hear that door click.
Yeah. I don't know how many times I walk in the section. I'll walk in first, and all of a sudden it's hella quiet.
Dead silent.
And I'll start talking my shit.
And that's what I'm saying.
Because I always expect it. I'll start talking my shit. I'm like, why y'all so quiet about? What you guys hiding?
Everything stops. So like you got a section, you got a TV in the section. All sections have TVs, except for Wasatch Baker Block. They're the only section that don't have TVs on their block. Oh, and A East.
Because they got their own TVs.
Because you can have your own shit. But even in the Okers, like you could have your own shit. Yeah. You know what I mean? But as soon as you hear that door click, which is the section door, as soon as you hear that click, everything stops.
It's like automatic.
But everything's timed out.
Yeah.
Everything's on a time limit. I'll only speak from my personal experiences.
Yeah.
So when I used to do tattoos, that was my hustle. When I used to do tattoos, it was and I was on E level, which means I ain't coming out except for 5 o'clock in the morning until.
So explain the levels real quick. What are the different levels? What's the worst level you can be on? And then what's the release time for that? And then what's the best level? Because K level is the best level, right? K level.
So you got.
And it starts, so A is the bottom and K is the top. So what does A level look like?
That's max.
You ain't getting out, but one hour every other day?
A, B, C, D is max stuff, right? E level is for Gen Pop. So E, F, G, there's no H. It goes I, J, and then K. And then stops at K. So you got E level. That means you're only coming out.
So you're bottom of pop.
You're the very bottom. And everybody who comes in, say you fish in off the streets, or say you not fishing, say you come back from the streets or whatever, if it's your first time or whatever. No matter what, when you hit general population, you're on E level.
Yeah.
For 30 days.
For an assessment period.
Maybe you're on G level. But either way, you're only coming out for an hour.
While you're being assessed.
Yeah. You're only coming out for an hour. And you're only coming out for an hour a day. But if you're on E level, you're coming out for an hour every other day.
And your food gets served to you, right?
Through the cuff port. And all your mail's through the cuff port. Everything's through the cuff port. So you got E, F, G, H, and then
Sorry, my mind is. I just thought of something, and you don't have to answer this if you don't want to. But did you ever get good at fishing?
Always.
So Dude. Fishing. So do you want to explain what fishing is?
Yeah. So you would tie.
So if all the cell doors are shut.
When all the cell doors are shut. Say my buddy lives, I don't know, 15 houses away from me.
Yeah.
Or 10 houses away from me. You may have seen it in that show. What's that show? American Me, where they're like, pad the wire, right? Like, pass this wire, this wire. And you're sending down something down. But there on that show, they have bars. They don't have doors, right? Yeah. So in county, you can take your bed sheet, rip it into tiny little
strings,
thin strips like that. But they're as long as your bed sheet. Yeah. Time up, time up, time up. And then you just, I'm not going to tell you how to do this, but you figure out how to pop your cuff port.
Yeah. Well, which is illegal. And some of the cell doors, there's enough of a gap underneath.
Well, no, that's in prison.
Oh, okay.
I'm talking about in county. This is when everybody learns how to fish.
Okay.
Figure out how to pop your cuff port, which is highly illegal, and you will get an escape charge. I don't know that for sure because it hasn't happened to me.
I just knew a guy.
But I know a guy who knows a guy. I watched a guy.
I heard about it.
Right. So once you figure that part out, then you could tie your shoe or your slipper, you know what I mean? Tie it to the end of your string.
Yeah.
Tie the other end of your string to your toe, to the lock on the box on your bed, and toss it as far as you can.
Yeah.
So that way it's anchored down, right? Yeah. Whether it's by your foot or whatever. Get it all the way over to your boy could stuff that shoe full of commissary for you, man. Envelopes, whatever you need. Like, that's how you plug in your homeboys, like when they first get there and they ain't got nothing and you're on lockdown or whatever.
Yeah.
Now, in general population, you don't have to fish.
You don't have to fish because you guys are out all day, every day.
All day, every day.
But
and
like
there's
in
a
Max,
gap.
like
There's
in the
a
Uintas,
but
you see fishing all the time, though.
Yeah. I mean, it just depends on how bored
it's just like after hours and stuff. Yeah. I mean, I seen a dude or a couple dudes throw out their fishing line, and then another dude threw out his fishing line, and they hooked up. I didn't even know. I remember watching it from the control room and being impressed that I was like, how the hell can you retrieve that small little contraband?
Because you're focused on that
other
one
fishing line,
because you're focused on that one thing,
pull it from the other fishing line all the way back to your cell. I remember getting on the intercom, and I was like,
good job.
That's impressive. You know what I mean? So
fishing isn't outlawed. I mean, it's one of those rules that's not enforced in there.
I mean, it can be enforced
depending on what you're passing.
Depending on what the contraband is, yeah.
Yeah, but
because if you see like soup,
dude,
you know what I mean. Like,
most officers don't really give a shit.
It just depends, because a lot of times you can see it's food. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you'll see a whole string of noodles just being. You'll be like, dude, that's like a whole box.
You see a pack of tuna. You see soups. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, you just.
But yeah, no. So I mean, fishing is an acquired skill. It's not hard, but.
Anyway, I didn't mean to derail you. I just thought when you were talking about lockdown all day, you're out for an hour. I was like, oh, I seen some fishing.
So yeah, so E to H, man, you're only coming out for maybe 2 or 3 hours out of the day when everybody else in your section is out until 9 o'clock at night.
Because they get popped out for breakfast at what, like 5:30?
5:30, and then you're out until lunch.
Until lunch.
Lockdown
rack
for
in
lunch.
For count.
Rack in for
back
count.
out.
Back out. Oh, back in for med count too, but that's normally around the same time every day, first thing in the morning at breakfast time.
And then you're back out until 8:30 count at night.
Yep.
Stand-up count.
Yep. And that's when you got to remember your number, your name. Like I said, man, I could tell you my OPSIS number, and I could tell you my
USP number.
My USP number, even my Salt Lake County jail number. But if you ask me what my social is, I couldn't tell you that for shit.
You didn't need to know that for a while.
But nah, man. So like in there, it's for me. I used to do things. Yeah, I used to do things that were like, I do tattoos, and when I'm on E level, like this is my hustle.
So could you, on E level, could you keep your door open? You just had to stay in your cell? Door was racked?
Door was racked. You're racked in with another dude that's got the same level you're at, right? Okay. I mean, there's no electronics. You don't get shit. You didn't have books. That's it. But I worked it out to where my cellie would leave at pill line. My cellie would leave. The dude who I'm working on, he would come in.
Yeah.
from pill line to pill line.
Yeah.
So that's 5:30 in the morning until 4:30 at night in the afternoon.
And you just start.
Yeah, because the cops, they're only looking for bodies. They're not looking at faces.
Yeah. Not till stand-up count.
Because you could sleep all day.
Yeah.
You could sit there, literally, you could sleep your entire time away in prison. You don't need to be
out and about,
up doing shit. You don't have to do that. So it's like, they're only looking at bodies.
Yeah.
Is that dude breathing? Because you could block your window and just sleep.
Yeah, the only time, if I remember correctly, the only time we need to make sure it's so-and-so, and they do it every single day, is 8:30 stand-up count.
That's it.
Where you have them stand up. You have, like, we SEALs, we have a book. We have their picture, a current picture, like if they get new tattoos or a scar or
pictures.
They get fatter or thinner, like we have to update the picture. So we have a recent picture. They stand up. They used to, when I first started there, they used to do their USP number.
Yeah.
But then they switch over to the offender number.
Yeah.
And then we make sure they're alive, breathing, they're well. It's this individual every single night.
I think I was one of the last.
But yeah, you're right. Other than that, even the counts overnight, we just make sure there's a body and they're breathing.
That's it. Just a body and you're breathing, man. Because I've known people that have like murdered their cellies in their sleep and got away with it until the next day. It's
hard to see the breathing sometimes because I did, overnight count. We make sure that we see skin.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like a foot poking out or a hand or the head or a shoulder, just to make sure it's not like, pillows stuffed up. And, so we make sure we see a skin.
Nah, man, it's different in there. It's different in there for a newbie, a fish. To get used to a new set of rules.
if a fish comes in, are they getting checked? Like, how does that work?
Well,
like
depending on who they are, where they come from,
what their charge is.
It's like this. Like you see somebody come in, you look at your friend, or like if it's a white dude, I'm going to a white dude. Mm-hmm. If it's a poly, I probably already know him, right? If it's a black dude, or if it's a Mexican or whatever, I'll go to them and be like, you know this nigga? Nah. Go find out who he is. Yeah. It's on their race to figure out what they're about. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's not up to any one individual.
But they're getting checked.
Immediately.
Yeah.
Immediately. And it's not violent at
first. They're not getting tested.
No,
immediately.
It's mostly where you from, what you bang, what's your charges, show me your paperwork. Show me your paperwork. Yeah. Unless there's somebody that's like, that's my homeboy. Oh, okay, cool. Okay. You know him?
So you said something I want you to expand on a little bit. You said, show me your paperwork.
Yep.
What is that and why do you ask for paperwork?
So you have paperwork.
I mean, I know what it is, but explain.
So when you leave your county and you get sent to prison, you get a packet of, you have all your charges, everything that you've been charged with. You also get another one when you go to the board. You get your blue packet, right? But you automatically have your paperwork with you. Like you got your court, what is that called?
Your court papers,
all documents? Your court papers, all them documents, you have them.
But what's the main thing you're looking for when you ask for
sex offenders? You're looking for sex offenders.
What the charge is?
Yeah. So like if a dude's like, man, I'm here on a sex beef. Well, what kind is
Have you ever had someone just straight up like come out and say that? Because every time I've heard a story, they're like, "Oh man, I'm here for a drug, or I'm here for dope, like I'm here for slanging, I'm here for substance abuse, I'm here for."
That's normally what it is. Is like
I've never heard of a story where they came out and straight up admitted.
One guy, I'm not gonna say his name, but I'll tell you when the cameras are off, and you know him.
I think we talked about him.
He said, "I'm a sex offender. What you gonna do?"
Because he could scrap.
Because, yeah. Like he heard somebody talking shit. Yeah. Man, fuck your SOs, man. I'll kill that mother. Yeah. He comes walking out of the cell. He's like, "I'm a sex offender. What's up? You gonna beat me up?" No. I wasn't talking about you. Yeah. Shut the hell up then. Back in your room. Yeah. You know what I mean? I laughed hysterically. Yeah. But yeah, no, like when we ask for paperwork, that's what we're checking.
That's what you're looking for.
You're looking for that, and you're also looking for who'd you tell on? Mm-hmm. Who's your co-defendant?
That's the next thing.
Yeah, who's your co-defendant?
How'd you get a better deal than?
Well, no, it's like not even about the better deal. It's about who's your co-defendant.
Where
like
they
what
at?
kind of charge? Say you got a robbery charge or a murder charge, and it shows your name.
Yeah.
It's like, all right, well, who's your co-D?
Yeah.
Oh, I did this by myself. All right, cool.
Yeah.
You did it by yourself. I'm happy for you.
Yeah.
We'll figure this out. But then it's like, oh, you have a co-defendant. Where they at?
Yeah.
Oh, they're on their way. Nah, you should have been out here at the same time.
Yeah.
Like you guys got, you know what I mean? Like, what's up? Like what happened? Give me the rest of your paperwork.
Yeah.
Let's read this shit.
Yeah.
That's where that goes.
So let's say you find out from some paperwork someone's an SO.
So
what happens next?
They get the option. I ain't gonna lie. They get, because no one's trying to mess up their time. Like if I'm a KQ, I'm out all day.
KQ5, which is the highest level.
Not 5, just KQ.
Well, KQ5 was with us.
Yeah, KQ, the
KQ4.
5, KQ3.
Because wait, 4 and 5, they can leave premises,
Yeah,
right?
so
they can
3
leave
is
the prison.
general population.
That's right.
1, 2 is max. 3 is gen pop. 4 is like...
4, you can leave the facility to a different facility, but still on prison property.
Yeah.
5, you can leave prison property to go work off prison property.
Yeah. So if
So
I'm
all
a
those crack seal teams and stuff like that on the road.
If I'm a KQ and this dude's a SO, am I gonna risk going back to max for 2 years to beat this nigga's ass?
Send a message to him.
Just for him.
Yeah.
Like, who the hell is he?
Yeah.
I was like, hold up, dude. You know what you're here for, right?
Would you have someone else put in work?
No. I wasn't never that dude.
Okay.
I wasn't never the dude to be like, hey, go handle that shit.
Yeah.
It was because there's hierarchy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I handled my business, but I kept my nose down.
Yeah.
Because I wasn't trying to mess up the ecosystem. I wasn't trying to fuck up the ecosystem in there. You know what I mean? But at the same time, I didn't bitch up either. You know what I mean? It was just like, I'm handling my shit. Leave me alone. Come into that area, then now we have an issue.
Okay, so you mentioned you give them the option.
Okay,
what
no.
options?
Okay, and I've only witnessed this. I've never done it myself because I didn't have to. It's like you can either get your ass beat to death, and you're checking in anyway.
Yeah.
Or walk your ass back out there and tell them cops you can't live here.
Yeah.
Because it's not safe for
either way, they're going to PC up.
Yeah. Either way, they're going not to live there.
You ever seen an SO try to stand their ground and stick around?
Only one.
The one we were talking about?
Only one.
Okay. Other than that.
But
that's why there's whole facilities
but wait a minute.
dedicated.
I have met SOs who have somehow integrated themselves into those circles. Right? I know a guy, I'm not going to say his name, but he got caught up on a rape in Ogden. Raping broads on the Ogden Trail.
Yeah.
Went to prison.
Hiking trail.
Went to prison. Does 15 years, which is the max for them, right?
That's a 1 to
Gets
15.
out.
So it's a
1 to 15. Well,
degree.
it's a 3 to 15. I think it's like a 3 to 15. Some shit like that.
I think second degree felony is 1 to 15. And
no. It's different.
First
for
degree is
sex
5 to
offenders.
life. Oh,
different for sex offenders. They always get the 3 or 4. If you ever see a 3 or a 4, it's like, okay, there was sex crime involved. So, anyway, so this dude, he does his time, he gets out. But while he's in there, that 15 years, somehow incorporated his way into those
general pop and
society, the societies that are in there that are, pushing drugs.
Did he bang?
No, he wasn't a banger. He wasn't a banger at all. He was just a white dude. You know what I mean? Could be Mexican. I don't know. Look white. Tan-ish. But he got out and committed the exact same offense on
as soon as he got out?
Within 2 weeks. Reoffended. Same place, same trail. Did it again.
So his sentence
he's
expired.
never getting out again.
So his first sentence expired. right?
No, I don't think it expired. I just think he did the max time that they like.
Well, yeah, that's so. If he served his whole 15 years,
wait. Maybe he was on a 3 to life. I can be mistaken on what.
Sorry.
His
So
time
what I mean by when I say a sentence expires, let's say.
No, I know what that means.
Well, I'm explaining. So if Marcus is sentenced to a 3rd-degree felony 0 to 5, and Marcus serves 5 years, his sentence expires. He has no more time to serve on that charge.
I did that once.
So, but usually guys get paroled or their sentence gets terminated because of good behavior on special occasions.
It's easier to come back and on new charges. So now your 0 to 5 turned into a 0 to 13 or 0 to 15. Or,
But usually, unless you're like just a shithead, your sentence doesn't expire, because usually you get a bunch of chances to parole.
Yeah.
I remember, and I'm not going to say his name either, but he was a white boy, and his sentence expired. But he was on our SWAT transport list because he was highly aggressive and highly volatile when we transported him. And I remember,
does he got a big swastika on his head?
No.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yes, I do. But no, I'll tell you who it is. I have a crazy ass story.
After.
But
link below in the comments.
But anyway, yeah. Read the article. But he expired. His sentence expired. He had no more charges.
I'm getting over a cold, by the way, and I smoke a lot. So if I'm coughing, I apologize.
Just cough out of the mic.
Don't vape, kids. No.
But so he expired, and we had to go drop him off at the Utah State Hospital. And when we did, we had to uncuff him. And
is this that guy?
Yeah, same guy. And we were like,
no. Is this the guy that killed the officer before? Remember that?
No.
Now I'm taking us off on a tangent. My bad.
No, you're good. But we uncuffed him and we left him in the chair, and he was pretty medicated, so he wasn't like, he was kind of out of it. But the nurses and the doctors were like, yeah, just uncuff him and leave him there. We're like, are you sure? They're like, yeah. And we're like, all right. It was the trippiest thing because I'd never been around him uncuffed.
Yeah. Well, did he act out?
No.
Calm and collective.
And then I saw him later on at Olympus. And Olympus was the mental health facility.
That's the mental health facility. You never want to go there.
And I had brought my academy class to come and tour. And he came and like did one of these from behind. And I turned around. I was like, oh, shit. And he's like, hey, Peterson. And I was like, whoa. You look like you're doing good, man. He's like, yeah.
Doing bad.
And so it was a trip to see him like on a good level of medication. He was starting to get his shit together. You know what I mean? And like
sometimes it is one of those issues with some inmates with their aggression.
Yeah.
It's like, and I don't believe in pharmaceutical medications. I don't think that they help you. I think that they cause more problems than they.
There's a lot of side effects.
And that's the thing. It's called side effects, right? It's not. It's just fucking effects. It's just what the pill does to some people, right? Yeah. So that's why I don't take them. I don't take pharmaceutical drugs whatsoever because I don't know how my brain's going to react to certain things, right? But there are some individuals that when they need those because all of those effects help them.
Because what the pill is curing is better than the side effects that they're getting.
And yeah, it's helping the main problem, right?
Yeah, like I said, I seen some dudes level out on medication, and I'm like,
but I've also seen some dudes doing that Thorazine shuffle, dude, and that's sad.
Trip the hell out on medication too.
Sad.
Yeah.
But anyway, back to when you first come in, right? When you first walk in them doors, it's like, dude, what the fuck? This isn't what I've noticed on this. This isn't what I've seen on this. Yeah. Like my first time in prison, I ain't gonna lie, dude. I was back to the wall the whole time.
I feel like that's a natural reaction.
I didn't know. I knew what I was about on the street, but on the street there ain't no doors, right? There's nowhere to get trapped at. You always have an escape route. Yeah. Running from the cops, running from a nigga's crew you just robbed, running from whatever, right? Like there's always that escape route. Not saying that it's.
Not saying you were scared.
Not saying it's a running game, but
you live to fight another day.
Yeah, exactly. When you run in.
What's that from? You live to fight another day.
Friday.
Okay, my man. Shit. All right. Sorry,
anyway, so like when you're running game all day, And when I say running game, that means, you're doing dirt, you're putting in your work, you're making your money.
Yeah.
Not the legal way, but it's the way, right? For a lot of people. And it's sad that it's still like that.
Prison.
But once you get to that pen, it don't matter who the fuck you were.
Is it an understatement to say it's like a jungle in there?
It is. It's not really. It's just a different society.
It's a whole nother world.
It is. It's you got.
Even for us officers, it's a whole nother world. You know what I'm saying?
It's different. It's different attitudes. Everybody wants to be bigger than the next nigga.
Yeah.
Right. But at the same time, you can't be bigger than the next nigga because that nigga's been established for years before you even got there.
Yeah.
Now, if you beat this dude, if you beat his ass, you could wear his shoes for a day or two, but I guarantee he's got a connection like the internet. You're gonna have somebody come testing your nuts for months and months and months and months.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So when you first touch down, like my first week in Gen Pop in Oakers, I watched the dude get stabbed a grip of times, put in his locker box, and then thrown over the top tier. Right? I'm on the phone. I was like, what the fuck? I hung up the phone. I walked straight to my room. I was like, I'm not involved in this
Trying not to be involved at all.
I'm not involved at all. I didn't see shit.
Because from an officer's point of view, if an incident happens and there's a bunch of offenders surrounding the situation,
then you need to get statements.
We need to touch base with each and every one of them because we don't know who's involved or who just witnessed something.
Yeah.
So the reason why Marcus is trying to duck to his cell is because he's trying not to be involved or incorporated at all.
But at the same time, like I knew what was going on to a degree, but not enough for me to be involved in it.
To know what was about to happen.
That wasn't part of my car. They weren't in my car.
Yeah.
It
was just like
people.
You knew because it was just like a heads up.
Well, it was a different vibe. Like you get the feeling, and I was telling the person I was on the phone with,
yeah.
I'm like, man, it feels weird.
I've gotten that vibe
like, today feels
plenty
weird.
times.
And then I look up and I see everything go down. I'm like, I gotta go.
I don't know how many times where I feel like I walked in right after some shit happened.
So once again, back to that. Once you hear that door click, everything stops.
Yeah.
But once you guys walk by, it's like 2 minutes. You're in the section, then you're gone.
Yeah.
Business as usual.
Yeah.
Same thing with you guys coming through during the day. We know when you're coming in.
Yeah.
We see you coming in.
Or we feed chow at the same time. We do count at the same time.
All right.
Only time that was different is if we came through.
Yeah. Well, when SWAT comes,
shake the section.
But that's a different thing. We see you guys. We see all the forest green coming, and it's like, oh fuck! Hey, go fucking flush everything, hide everything.
So what we used to do is we call ahead of time, and we'd have maintenance shut off the water.
So you can't flush.
You can flush, but it's going to be in the pipes. And we had access to the chase to pull everything that got flushed out of the pipes.
Yeah.
As gross as that is,
it's disgusting.
We found a lot of shit, no pun intended, in the pipes.
No, and that's how it kind of went down. It was like, we see you guys coming. We can see you through the windows. So it's like, and somebody's always watching. You'll always notice that there's a set group of people sitting at the closest table playing pinochle, spades, dominoes, Risk, Scrabble, something.
Yeah. They're
playing something by that far table so they can see
the lookout.
Everything going on. So as soon as anything weird looks like it's going on outside of our community, it's, hey, they're getting ready to come in, and then move on.
Well, that's why we started to switch things up too. And instead of coming from outside through the main sections where you can see us a half mile away, we used to come in through the loading dock.
Which we could still see you.
We'd come in through the back.
Yeah.
We'd go all the way through the back, behind the Oakers, behind Wasatch, and came in through the loading docks, or we'd come in from another section through the upper section door.
And that's what I'm saying. The only time you ever would catch us outside, catch us slipping like that is each section has the dummy doors on the side, right? Now, each section connects by doors, but you got the dummy doors.
And those doors are never usually open, ever.
But you guys would come in, boom, right through that door, and then we'd get the rack in, everybody rack in. As soon as you guys come through that door, so there's no way nothing's being hidden. So that's when a lot of people would lose their extra TVs. People would lose their modified hot pots. People would lose their stingers, their tattoo guns. I don't know how many times you guys caught niggas with drugs, but I was never involved in that.
I mean, I mean, you get real.
I used to smoke a lot of weed in prison. I'll tell you that,
because these guys had so much time on their hands to hide and find hiding spots.
I smoke a lot of weed now.
We had to up our game.
It's legal
to like be able to like look in places you never would ever think of looking.
Yeah.
I mean, I seen a shank cut out of the metal frame for the bunk and then put back in that place, and then there was like toothpaste and all that stuff smeared in, so it looked like it's one solid piece of metal again.
Yep.
But if you like hit it hard enough,
it'll fall out.
It pops out.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's ingenious.
Those are called bone crushers, dude. They're about that big.
Oh yeah, it was like this. It was cut out of like that thick metal like frame to hold the bunk.
Next time we talk about prison stories, I'll tell you about the time I watched this nigga get his ear fucking knocked on his shoulder. That was different. That was some gory shit.
So we can't touch base on everything that Marcus has experienced. This is gonna be a series of episodes,
and I'm gonna label them that way. Like, this is part 1 for this conversation.
For Life Behind
Bars. And I'm not
Bars.
saying that part 2 is coming next week. You might not get part 2 for a couple.
But we're gonna have a series. This is gonna be a series because there's, I mean,
a lot of topics.
We can't even film it in 1 month. Like,
I don't think so. I mean, I have a lot. And you have a lot. I know you have a lot of questions.
I was gonna say, even stuff I've seen.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's like a fraction of what you've seen. So, but
Please.
we want to thank you guys for tuning in.
One thing that I am going to start doing is when I mention articles or videos that I've got, and I'm actually going to upload the link to the other episode.
Description. Yep.
So you guys can see the videos that we're talking about. When I say, did you see this and see this, then I can just say,
links in the description.
Links in the description, so that way you guys can
hit the like and subscribe.
Please hit the like and subscribe.
Please comment. Like, we're getting a lot of comments in person, and we love that.
Don't call me on the phone and tell me about some cool shit you want to see. Put it in the comments, man. It's easier to do that than to get me to answer my phone. For real.
But no, thanks for tuning in, guys. Stay tuned for this series and everything else we have to share. So,
love, peace, and fish grease.
Appreciate it. Thanks.
But nah, so